He usually pops on once or twice because of our shenanigans.
Because we get him going about something weird.
Like pitting Andre against Orange Cassidy. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am, as always, Bud Robinson. This is the BREWDCAST, and with me tonight is the Town Junk. How you doing, Town?
Great. I'm doing good.
Cool.
We have a whole list of shit to talk about.
We sure do. Yeah.
But let me just say, one of the things that we wanted to talk about was how AEW wasn't doing anything. They just did a bunch of shit.
They sure did, didn't they?
Holy fuck. Was that an episode of Dynamite?
I'm looking at that card right now, and I'm like, it lit up.
Did you see the end?
With the Matthew and Nicholas Jackson covered in blood,
in white, in all white. It was so fucking perfect. They leaned to it. You fucking hate us because of what we did to CM Punk. Here it is. Here's what we're gonna do. That match was cool to begin with. Sting winning the belt was. I wasn't a fan of it. Like when I thought about it, and then when it happened, I fucking popped.
Yeah, it was.
I was like,
stellar.
This is awesome. And then when his kids came in and the Young Bucks just came out and beat the shit out of them, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. That was one of the best endings to Dynamite in a long time.
I agree. Yeah.
Sting can't lose. That last match, he can't lose.
I don't know.
I mean, you would think because they just beat up his kids.
Yes, that's fair. However, I think...
Oh, the heat, though. You have a good point, the heat.
I think, like, seeing the Bucks take... I don't know what their new names are, but the EVPs, let's just say. I think if the EVPs...
trigger.
I fucking love that. I think if Matthew and Nicholas take the belts at Revolution, it does a couple of things. One, it gives them the rub. Two, it gives Darby something to do after Sting leaves. Three, it gives Sting something that he always wants, which is to like leave on a high note. Like I think he's an old school guy. We've talked about it before. He's an old school guy, and he wants to help the younger talent. And I think tonight, despite the fact that they beat the current champions, they gave the rub to the younger talent.
I agree. I think the Bucks are about to explode. I've been complaining. We had the conversation the other night about not having a heel that everyone actually hates. There it is.
I think so.
The other thing tonight that I went crazy for, heel Hangman.
Yes.
Oh my word, was that amazing?
When I saw
that mustache too.
He reminds did he not look almost exactly like young Jake the Snake?
I thought the same thing.
And when I saw that, I was like, he's going heel. He's fucking going heel. And I am for it. I'm so fucking for it.
Swerve's going face. The big business thing, I think on the surface sounds really stupid, like Jesus Christ, Tony, why are you giving us another thing? It's Mercedes.
Yeah.
And Okada.
Oh god, I didn't think of that.
Do them both the same night.
Yeah.
And like blow the roof because they're
on a Dynamite, and then have them fight on Revolution.
It's really funny because we've been complaining the past few weeks about how it's just been bleh.
Yeah.
But now it's like one show, and it was like, oh.
I think they've been sitting on some stuff and trying to like get it set up. I think literally everything that they did tonight, I think they've been setting up.
The triple threat match for the World Championship has me really excited. Here's what I would do. I would have Hangman win.
I think so.
And then you have Swerve chase Hangman. And it'd be one of those deals where Swerve already beat Hangman, but Hangman keeps finding a way to like get away from him or avoid him.
Yeah.
Then he finally gets him and gets the belt.
Yeah, I could see that.
That sounds really good. That sounds really good to me.
You
can't keep Swerve. You can't keep Swerve heel. Swerve's too good. And Hangman has been faced for so long. I love Hangman though. I don't think he gets enough credit. for how important he is to that company.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Storm is a gem.
Yes, God, yes.
I don't even know anymore.
And I think this feud with Deanna is going to showcase how much of a gem Deanna is. I think she's getting her legs, like getting her feel for the company, and I think that
you get her,
once you get her going, she's going to be big.
You get Mercedes Moné, and you get who's the one that was supposed to sign with WWE that did the former NWA champ, Camille?
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
She's coming to AEW now.
Yeah.
You suddenly we were living in this post-punk era of AEW where everything felt gloomy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're moving away from it, and in a way, Punk going to WWE was great because people forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to do what they did to get good.
Yeah.
And it's really fucking noticeable.
Make good stars. I mean, they're really good at making stars. They're really good at telling the story in the ring. My hope is that the storytelling outside of the ring gets a little better.
It's better. But, that's their struggle. That's where WWE just trounces them, and it's not sometimes, but you know what I'm saying.
More often than not now, like with Paul in charge, I think it's more often.
I was just amazed at this show tonight because we were talking all day, and one of the things you said to me today was, I don't freaking want to talk about WWE.
Yeah,
I'm tired of it. And I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do because there's not a whole lot else to talk about. I mean, obviously you have the TNA situation we'll get to at some point here, but this Dynamite was like, holy shit.
I think it's the linchpin. I think it's the starting point of something big for
start to finish. But that's what they need.
AEW.
They need to go back to what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Samoa Joe's gonna keep that belt.
I think he wants. Well, we talked about the fact that he's filming Twisted Metal. And that could be a short-term thing. That might be less than a month.
I wouldn't pin him. I'd keep him. I'd have the other guy get pinned.
Yeah,
but I would move the belt because I think heel Hangman getting the belt right now and having a run is like what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Give us the run you should have had before.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have it, and then let's have Swerve be the one to. And then you think about that. You go into Wembley and you finally do Swerve Hangman, and you also get MJF Adam Cole.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be. I mean, that's going to be the headline. I think we were both in that state of looking at this and kind of going, "What the fuck are they going to do? This looks really bad." And now I'm suddenly like,
I'm excited. I'm
fucking hyped. Yeah. I haven't been this hyped in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Orange Cassidy's getting turned on by Trent. I think Trent's turning just the way he's been acting.
Maybe. I mean, it's possible. The problem is that all of them are in chaos right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that whole system is not like, I don't know. I guess that doesn't really make a difference. I feel like it would be weird. I could see it happening. It would definitely launch Trent.
I think they're trying to do something with Trent. I think using Orange Cassidy to launch Trent is a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I also hope they give Cassidy a little bit of a run. Let's get him out doing something different.
I did very much appreciate the segment tonight, the interview segment where they ended it and he's like, we gotta go. And Renee's like, I gotta go too. It was all awkward and weird.
That was a good segment. This show, there was nothing bad.
I agree.
The Jericho match was pretty good. I liked the ending.
They lost me a little bit. The AEW CML, Blackpool CMLL match. I felt like I should have been into it, but I just wasn't.
I wasn't into it till afterwards.
Yeah. The ending was really good.
It felt like such a foregone conclusion that AEW was going to win.
I suppose.
That's what I thought. I was like, yeah, okay, they're going to beat these guys.
And there's not really there wasn't really a storyline until
now there is.
Yeah.
That's good because if we're going to do it, let's do it right. I feel very, very good about the direction they're headed right now, kind of across the board.
Mm-hmm.
that ending was so fucking perfect. That show, the Bucks coming out and doing that was so. I'm pissed Leon's not here because he would be so mad. But
maybe that's why he's not here. He's at home throwing things around.
We haven't even heard from him today.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy. That was a good show.
It was an excellent show. I think they've got some good stuff going.
For finally, we got to touch on this next thing, and I know you don't want to, but we got to talk about the Cody Rock situation.
I'm gonna soldier on. I'm gonna push through.
I don't know what they're doing. They're trying to make. They're clearly trying to go the Daniel Bryan route.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just think people are at a point where they're just like, why are we doing this?
I don't see that.
I do.
They're getting huge response on Twitter. Now, fans like us, like lapsed fans or people who are like professional wrestling nerds,
like us,
might not be into this, but like I think they're replicating something, and I think Cody is organic enough of a star, and he has put his time in. Like if they hadn't done this amount of, I'm gonna struggle to say this because I don't think this is actually what was happening, but they put in the time to make this a long-term story, and now that they have gotten to the point where they're going to pull the trigger, they are trying to make him a bigger deal by giving him the rub from The Rock, which I think is a great idea. And I think they're also trying to bring in the fan base to like.
But he's not going to get the match that he should get.
We don't know that yet.
True.
I think so.
There's a lot that still has to happen. You're right.
That's the thing. The internet has just been all over the place, right? Like, but a lot of
nobody knows
exactly.
Nobody knows.
And whether this is like, it sort of seems like maybe WWE knew something like this might happen, or if it was just it was a whole big surprise to them, and now they're pivoting. But they seem to be leaning into this "we want Cody" thing, because it's not just the fans who are saying it. It's the wrestlers who are employed by WWE. Apparently, WWE. I saw something. Somebody went to a live show and they were handing out "we want Cody" signs.
Okay, to that one though, I heard the opposite side was that people were handing those out and they weren't from the
fair
company
enough.
either. So it's kind of a.
That's very possible.
I think the issue. I think if we end up getting Cody Seth Rollins. Mm-hmm. They fucked up.
But they did it last year, didn't they?
Well, 2 years ago. But they did it. Those guys have had a lot of matches.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you do Cody Rollins. I don't think there's a point. And if it ends up as a triple threat or something like that, great. But I'm pretty adamant that WrestleMania 40 needs to end with Cody Rhodes standing in the middle of the ring being world champion. I think that's just what needs to happen.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other way. I think if you don't do that, I think you've done a disservice. And I think people are going to be pissed.
I think if you've done a disservice, not just to Cody, but to the fans who have followed Cody
for
this
story.
long.
Yeah.
Like he came over to WWE. It was a big deal, but it wasn't just like it started off as like this guy came from AEW, haha, fuck you. But then he made his own way. Like he made his own story. He's like, I don't know how else to say it, but like he's not riding that coattail of AEW used to be where I was. He's like taking everything that he's learned and created this incredible story over the past 2 years that they really need to do something with. And my hope,
my concern is this: if you push that off to SummerSlam,
mm-hmm.
at what point are we going to stop caring?
Yeah,
we're going to be close. Because if you don't pull this trigger, everybody's just like, then what's the point of this?
My hope. So I could see it like going either one of two ways. Either they do a triple threat at WrestleMania, which, like I don't want to see that. Like it's A, it's a lot of star power, and B, I just don't have fun watching WWE triple threats. I'm not going to watch anyway, but or, and this is the one that I prefer. I think they should have Rock and Cody at Elimination Chamber, and then whoever wins that, hopefully it's Cody. Like, give Cody another. You're giving Cody another hurdle that he has to go over, which makes him more over the fans. But I also think that giving him a win over The Rock and then subsequently over Roman Reigns makes him a bigger deal. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, but can you dangle the carrot of Rock, Roman at Mania, and then not do it?
I don't think anybody wants it.
That's fair.
Like, I think TKO maybe wants it. I think
because they think it's going to be huge money,
yeah,
and they're thinking that the old Laps fans are going to come out and be a part of it again and want to participate in WrestleMania and be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe I wasn't watching this." I'm happy that WWE is kind of finding their way, but I hope they do. Like, I'm worried right now that they're going to do something really stupid, and I think again, we've talked about this before. The issue is they're not a wrestling company; they're an entertainment company, and they're about star power. And they have a board, and Tony Khan has Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Let's pivot though, because we're talking about Tony Khan.
Who
do you think he should hire to help him out? Because I think there's a guy that's suddenly available that maybe he should call.
So for anybody who doesn't know, because this is brand new information, I think this just happened today. Scott D'Amore was fired in a very surprise move from TNA. As president, and as far as I know, from the company altogether.
Yeah, he's gone.
He was replaced by Anthony. Who cares? I don't care what his name is. And
he's an executive. He's not a wrestling guy. That's the vibe I'm getting.
Anthem seems very much like Scott D'Amore took this company from nothing to this great thing that looks like it could go global, but we want all the credit for it. Like, fuck him. He's a wrestling guy. Let's get rid of him. The response to that has not gone well.
No. But if I'm Tony Khan, I'm calling him because he can help.
I agree.
And I think that's what Tony needs right now. He needs some trustworthy guys in there. I can't believe they fired him because we've ripped on TNA on here a lot. And for the past year and a half, 2 years, TNA has been good. They've been moving the ball in the right direction. They've been doing really good things, and he's the reason why. And now he's available, so I hope somebody.
It's so stupid.
I hope he doesn't go to the E because the E just won't. You know what I mean? He'll just get lost in the shuffle there.
Yeah, they won't make him an agent. They won't really enact his vision. And from what I'm hearing, he's very much like wrestling is his life. TNA was his life in much the same way Paul Heyman is like ECW was his life. AEW is Tony Khan's life. I think it was the same for Scott D'Amore. And to take him out of that position was stupid. Absolutely stupid. Short-sighted, whatever. But I think AEW could benefit from it. New Japan could benefit from him.
If I'm Tony Khan right now, come on, Dan. Just come on in. We're gonna do something with you. You can come in here. You can help me out. Because Tony needs, and Scott's. I mean, the shit he was pulling off over in TNA was. They grew so much under him, and I'm sure they're gonna take a couple steps back. That seems to be kind of what TNA does.
Yeah,
they get somebody good, and then they kind of. I mean, in the early or the mid 2000s, they were gonna hire Paul Heyman. And they were going to give him.
I heard that, yeah.
And they were going to give him the creative direction and let him go. And then they decided to hire Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan.
One of these things is not like the other. The concern, I think, in general, is just that it's going to revert back to how it looked under Dixie Carter, because Dixie Carter didn't run it. She ran it like a company, which is fine, except it's a wrestling company, and people are buying the creative product. Bischoff doesn't have that. Hogan doesn't have that. They don't have their Vince Russo, they did not have the knowledge to be able to produce a product that people wanted to see.
They got hot at one point and they thought their ideas were good just because they were ideas, and that's one of the things about Eric Bischoff. I love listening to his podcast because I think Eric is a genuine guy, and I think Eric sometimes doesn't get enough credit for as smart as he was, but he's not smart enough to realize that the business passed him by. The business also passed him by in 1998, and he's never caught up.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I'm not. And for Vince Russo, the business passed him up in 2001, and he never caught up. It's an ever-changing thing. And WCW 95, 96, 97, and part of 98 there was untouchable. And then the whole thing shifted and it went in a different direction. And as great as Bischoff was, he couldn't compete anymore.
Yeah.
And now he likes to criticize other people. It's Eric, dude.
Well, and that's I was thinking about that today, thinking about the topics we were going over, and WWE has had a lot of drama, a lot of cameras and eyes, and articles have been written about what's happening with WWE, not just the backstage stuff, but the stuff happening with Cody, the stuff happening with Rock, the stuff happening between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, and there's a lot of attention being paid there for good reason, because they're coming up on WrestleMania, they're putting all these storylines in, right? But I feel like Eric Bischoff, given the same situation, would have done something to give them more attention. He would have done something ridiculous and stupid in the long run to get short-term success, right? To bump
that was
that
Eric's
number.
MO. That was
his MO. Yeah. And Tony didn't do that. He could have. And there were a lot of signs showing that he could.
And it's funny.
But he stayed the course.
Because one of the things you wanted to talk about tonight really truly was how AEW's done nothing for a month. And then we have this show and it's okay. Part of me thinks this dude has a plan and he's smart enough to realize I have to follow the plan. And he's right, because sometimes part of growing is shit not going good for a little bit. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
It's a weird time in wrestling right now.
It's really there's obviously the background noise and the really big issues in the background. And then you have WrestleMania season, you have WWE on the cusp of something really good, but at the same time it's they're sabotaging themselves and they're being sabotaged by the other things that are going on. And this could go either way. It could be a renaissance, or it could be same old shit. And then TNA just fires the guy that they should never have fired. And here's fucking Tony Khan I actually know what I'm doing. I'm just let me do my thing.
You guys do your thing. I'm gonna do mine. Yeah. I got it.
But I think if I'm Tony Khan, one of the biggest things I want to do right now is ignore.
Yeah.
I don't need to take shots at WWE. I don't need to do anything else. Just focus on what the fuck you're doing. Maybe Scott can come down and run ROH.
I could see that, because Danielson.
Let him go.
I don't know if Danielson is still doing Collision, but I imagine that he will have more of a hand in Collision once he, ramps down his schedule.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously, put him in charge of ROH, because then get ROH a different feel. Don't just make it another. You know what I mean? Because then you don't have to do it. You can let him do it. And if he does a crap job, well, you get rid of him. It's easy. I guess I can't overstate enough how this Dynamite tonight was fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome. This is good. This is going in the right direction. And we haven't had that, like we've said, in a while.
Yeah.
And I think part of that was the MJF Samoa Joe match was so weird, with a weird ending, and then the reveal of the Devil was stupid, and it felt but now it feels like they're actually doing something. So I mean, I'm happy.
Yeah. I agree.
We're actually flying through.
We sure are.
What about this?
Yeah.
60-year-old Mick Foley having a death match.
Please don't. Please don't.
Kinda
I'm kidding. I feel like I feel like Leon would have agreed with you, and an hour and a half ago, I would have also agreed with you. But the more that I think about it, the more I think if he can get into shape, and if he picks the right opponent, and if he sticks to the hardcore stuff instead of like trying to do crazy flippy shit or whatever. Like there are a lot of deathmatch wrestlers who are very good, very enjoyable to watch, who are not in top peak physical form.
Yeah,
it's a field where Mick Foley can thrive if he's in the right shape, right? Like he can't. His body has.
He can't bump around the ring. He can't take any crazy bumps. I mean, if he wants to do the fall into the thumbtacks and shit like that, fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see him eat like 10 chair shots.
No,
I don't want to see him I don't want to see him get hit in the head.
Mm-mm.
You know, because that to me, that's just like, oh.
Do you know who called him out?
Yeah, because he called him out.
Matt Cardona.
Yeah. Which I think would be great.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
I think Cardona would be a good opponent for him. The question is, you know, man, that's Terry Funk did it, but Terry Funk wasn't sane. I want Mick Foley to be like old and happy and jolly and not have to like, you know what I mean? I don't want him to go out there one more time and then really fuck himself up, because that's not fair either to him.
Yeah.
Because he gave us so fucking much. He gave us more than he ever had to.
Mm-hmm. And that's. I struggle with the idea of a man who has not really wrestled since his 40s, maybe 50s, because he had a little bit of a run in TNA.
Yeah, but he came back to WWE and they would not approve him to do anything.
Mm-hmm. So that's not surprising. They were extra.
Well, but he's got a lot of stuff going on.
No, I'm not saying that they were in the wrong at all. I'm just saying that they tend to be overly protective of their wrestlers when it comes to certain kinds of wrestlers, certain kinds of injuries. Because of liability, I think, more than compassion. But that's neither here nor there. I think like if it's done correctly, it doesn't have to be like over choreographed or like I think he can just go out and do a match, but like he's got to be careful about the particular spots that he does. Like he can't do that thing where he takes a bump off of the ring apron.
The ST plunge.
That will destroy his back.
Or don't do the cactus elbow off the apron. Probably don't do that.
No. Now he's going to do both of them. Fucker.
It'll be better than what Ric Flair did, I'm sure.
I mean, that's hardly surprising. His final match was
shit.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't watched it. I've seen highlights of it. It was not pretty.
There was no highlights. There was none. Let's not kid ourselves.
Oh Christ! If he does it, cool. I would love to see it in AEW.
I would watch. I don't know if AEW would do it.
I think
that might have to be, or maybe GC.
GCW, I think would do it too. I think those are the two companies that make the most sense. TNA, I guess, does make sense, but I don't think that they're going to do deathmatch wrestling, especially now that Scott D'Amore's out. I don't know how much say he would have had in that, but he. Yeah,
I think GCW would be perfect, and it will pull a lot of eyes into their product. No, I thought Dynamite was real good.
Dynamite was great. I'm looking forward to what they're going through. It's a weird thing for me to say, but I'm excited for what's coming next. Not so much for TNA. I remember saying at the beginning of this year, TNA is going to make big moves. And
they just did.
They did.
They made a big one.
But I fear it's the wrong one.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it is.
I hope desperately that we're wrong, because they still have a lot of talent there that can do some pretty cool shit in TNA. And if TNA goes, like, those guys are going to go to WWE, AEW, I would love to see that. But, there's going to be a host of people from there who are just going to
I think one of the
disappear into the indies.
one of the biggest things that I'm learning, and I learned, I think, through the 2000s up until 2019 when AEW opened, is when you have one company that hogs all the talent, it's really bad because everybody gets cut off at the knees, and especially in a company where you're so focused on how the top guy looks. I mean, WWE's huge. Yeah. AEW's massive. TNA is the third, and GCW is right there. And GCW is one of those companies where like that cult following starting to get there, and like a couple things go their way, and they could slide up above TNA, and I think that's good because I think the more viable places you have, the better it is.
Absolutely.
Because that was why the Monday Night Wars were so amazing. And I mean, ECW came out of there too, and they were like doing something completely different. So I just look at that and I think it's really good for business. So I hope TNA holds it together. I really do.
We shall see.
Even though it's not like I'm going to watch a ton of it or anything, but
I mean, I watched. What did I watch? I think Hard to Kill last year. And it was a decent show. They had Bubba Ray on it, and I rolled my eyes because it was him and Josh Alexander. But the rest of the card was solid. Like they have talented folks on the roster in TNA that can do amazing things. And I just hope that they recognize that. I hope that whoever's taking over, the person who's taking over, whatever his name is, recognizes that the talent has. I don't know. I guess I hope that they don't pivot too hard. Because I think the way that they're going right now is good.
That's my biggest concern. I think what we're learning is you got to have your own style. You got to have your own niche. And
especially in wrestling.
Like AEW has that. They're in ring. WWE is all about the showmanship. GCW is about we're going to hit each other with blood and we're going to bleed. And then you have TNA, which is like, where are we going? Because we just got rid of our guy. So I mean, I'm very curious to see where that one goes. But
yeah,
a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff going on. Apparently, we can just fucking power through it.
It's surprisingly little for us to talk about.
Yeah. We covered what we had to cover, though.
We did.
I don't know what I like the Rock thing. I don't really know what else you say about that. If they go through with it, it's stupid. That's pretty much it. If they're going to do something else and they're going to build Cody up, great. That's essentially it.
They have the capacity right now to do something incredibly stupid and short-sighted, or something really cool. Finish the story. I mean, you have a guy who's been saying he's going to finish the story for the last 2 years, and you're not going to let him finish the goddamn story. Like, just fucking let him finish the story.
I want him to finish the story. I want him to come out on Raw the next night and get rid of the title and bring back the Winged Eagle.
Okay. That's not where I thought you were going.
I love the Winged Eagle. Bring that thing back.
It's a pretty belt. The one that they have right now is just donkey turds.
I hate it.
It's just a big WWE sticker.
I bought a championship belt because I wanted one because I've never had one. I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. And I went with the Winged Eagle because I was going to get an AEW one, but those are really hard to find at times. And WWE was right there, and it was WrestleMania, and they were on sale. And I'm like, looking. I'm like, oh, that big fucking W. Oh, what about a vintage one? Oh, the spinner. Oh, there it is. The original Winged Eagle. Let's get that.
It's a good one.
I'm going to put my underwear on and wear it and pretend to be the Macho Man from WrestleMania
4. Good. I hope you do. I hope you did. Multiple times already.
I'll videotape it for you.
Thank you.
I don't know. I think we can go home.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we did
This has been the Brood.
Yeah, we're the Brood.
I'm just shocked that we got done so quickly. That's all I'm saying.
We were very focused. We were very focused.
This has been the Broodcast. I have been Bud Robinson. This has been the Town Drunk. Leon is asleep somewhere. We don't know. Maybe in a cardboard box. Maybe at home. We don't know. Everybody, good night. And if you see Leon, let us know.
Never know the truth of that story.